Hello, practicum class. Tazio Scariano here, or Mr. Scariano. All right, here is my visual aid, very colorful. I had the help of my girlfriend to get this very vibrant. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So the intro, all right, we're gonna start here. You know, I came in thinking I got this, and we'll jump up here to my introduction. Initially, I was scared and nervous going into my placement. My teacher identity was weak. My pedagogy had been very developed yet, since I hadn't been in the classroom teaching very much. I have a good sense of humor, and I try to bring that in to my teaching to develop a fun way of teaching and incorporating jokes to lighten the mood. All right. For my professional goal, before I talk about it, here it is. My professional goal: student engagement from bell to bell. I just want to measure that. I would measure this goal by seeing how students work day to day. And I decided to do this goal because in the shop class, students can wander off and almost disappear. So many places you could go: stain room, welding room, the list goes on. So I intend to keep this goal, keeping them entertained, into my student teaching. So I'll talk more about that as we go on. Okay. So from here, for my little aid here, we're gonna go follow this arrow, and we're into methods now. So just some key words here. Relationships is very important, and my case study student and the evidence I got from her and some feedback I got from my field supervisor and my CT. So in my placement, I learned that Belgrade High School is really connected in the community, and everyone has respect for each other. Not just for the teacher and myself, but for the students. They really help each other out, and I like to see that. It's very good. As for me, in my short time there, I felt really connected to the community. They accepted me just because I was there 3 days a week, and I was part of the class. So that felt good to be, part of that community and have some respect from the students. And they started asking me a lot more questions and wanted to ask me to go to the bathroom versus my CT, or ask me questions instead of going to my CT. And it was really fun because I got to know them more on a personal level than just as a teacher. So my case study student, she was a freshman girl who moved from Oregon to Montana. I chose her because she was always talking to the boys, was really interested in the boys, which is fun. But she was very distracting, and of course, when she's distracting to the boys all are very off track. So that's not very good for classroom participation. So I chose her because she's very distracting, and my goal was to keep students engaged. So this was a challenge, but I figured out ways to keep her engaged by giving her alternatives or connecting the material to stuff that's going on in the community, and just like a little more insight on where you can take Woods or CAD into the professional world. And getting her on track really helped me in my goal because the boys weren't talking to her, so it kind of killed two birds with one stone there. All right. Some evidence I gathered was giving multiple assignments for students who are ahead. I had one student who had finished our entire book of drawings in AutoCAD, and me and my CT got some other ones and gave it to him, and he would, work on those and come to me for questions, which I didn't know all the answers, but that was okay. So we had a little extra material for him to keep him engaged. And then students that weren't really, getting the topic or needed extra help, I'd be there, extra set of hands while my CT is explaining the main topic. So that's just two little things that I came up with. as well as a questionnaire I gave to all my students, and that gave me what they're interested in, besides just school. So I could take those ideas and formulate lessons for them, with common things that's going on. And that just helps them be engaged in the class. Feedback from my CT and field supervisor helped me decide where to focus on my goal and to take it as a learning opportunity. So I got a lot of feedback from my field supervisor and from my CT. My CT didn't have very much constructive feedback except for to do it differently, how he wanted it done. And that was a little challenging, but we went forward from there. And then Tina, my field supervisor, gave me a lot of help in getting students engaged, or she had several different things, and I decided to pick student engagement since when I did teach my first observed lesson, there's about 10 minutes left, and students all whipped out their phones, because we live in the 21st century, and now everyone's addicted to technology and needs to be entertained constantly. So I need to have alternative assignments, for them to be engaged the entire class period. So now back to my little visual aid here. We're gonna go from methods to results. So I got a couple keywords here: ideas, planning, and friendships. All right. So in my results through my time doing my practicum, I need to have more ideas on ways to keep students engaged for when they are done with the day's lesson. More practice, obviously, will help me with this. Coming up with a little bit extra on top of the assignment, like it could be extra credit, and some students would do that, or another assignment, just to keep them going instead of getting their phones out or whatever they were doing. They were playing a Switch thing, some sort of video game. Not too familiar because I don't game, but so another little thing about planning. I figured out by talking with my CT that he does a lot of planning in the summer, and just like me, he only had taken one class in AutoCAD through MSU because that's the only one we're required to take, even though you're going to teach a whole course on it. So he took the liberty to go and take classes and learn the programs, and then and to become proficient in it so that he could teach it. And that was new to me. I originally thought most teachers kind of check out for the summer, but that's not really the case. So yeah, and then other than that, finding new material, like on Pinterest, for fun, like new exciting things you could build in the shop versus just doing the same thing year after year after year. You can incorporate new ideas using the same like basic elements. I kind of touched on how they're building clocks and incorporating a couple joints, and we can get other projects, like we could make chairs using those things. So several things like that. What I learned from my case study student was that if I get on her level more as a friend than rather like this higher up individual, as in like a teacher, if I can connect on her level personally, it helps me feel part of the class and like, really just excited to be there and feel kind of accepting. So if I'm on her level and the other students' level, then it works out a little bit better for that. Okay, so from here, we're gonna move to conclusion. And I got some other keywords here. We got practice, relevant, technology, okay? So, in conclusion and discussion, I learned a lot about myself, like having confidence in front of the students. Before this experience, I wasn't like scared, but I wasn't, totally excited to be in front of a whole class of like 20 to 30 students. So I learned how to, get past that, and incorporating humor helps me. And then, practice. The more I did it, the more comfortable I felt. So that was always a plus, and that'll come in my my student teaching here in the fall. My teacher identity improved a ton, like having material that's engaging. And like I said, bringing humor in also helped my teaching style. I'm kind of a looser, laid back kind of guy. So my teacher identity is more kind of that way. And I started to develop that near the end, but would have liked more time in the class because I kind of ran out and didn't get to hone in my skill as much as I would like. Okay, and so that's the planning part, and so then this whole switch with online class, it's hard to do a shop-based class online, but it's easier to learn, with hands-on, and stuff like that. But with the technology advances we have today, like virtual reality, there's a lot of programs that you can install and do. Like essentially, you're in a virtual reality world. I've played on this program, and you're actually in this world. You got 2 slabs of wood, and you're pretending to cut it through a board, or in a welding simulation, you're in there practicing your beads, and it will tell you if you're doing it right, wrong, improvements. So with this switch to online, I'm slowly finding more and more information on how I could incorporate that if we were to go back online again. And then in closure, I will keep the same SMART goal that I came up with into my student teaching, because I don't think I've really accomplished it quite yet, and I need a little more practice. So I'll give you guys one more little quick look at my visual aid, and I hope you guys find this video entertaining. I'll see you guys in small group. Peace.